Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. I actually don't know if that's going to take or not, so I'll wait a couple seconds. Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. What's going on? So I think that this should be live now. So what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Yeah, man. Just chilling like the villain, man. How's everybody else doing? Got a couple people talking in the chat. See what's going on in the chat. Who's talking? Somebody's talking smack. What? What? Talk about Crom. What's going on, Silver Surfer? You know, there are worse things we could talk about than Crom. I'm saying. Cryptid, what's going on? Oh, yeah. So, happy Free Comic Book Day, everybody. Oh, God! You want to talk about screaming up at a god that doesn't listen to you, right? Oh, man. So, what's up? Yeah, I'm bored off my freaking gourd. Got a couple things to open up though. I got hey Slay, what's going on? I watched America Made yesterday, not FBI surveillance. Cool. Okay, so I got a couple things to open up today. All right. I've got Bespin Luke Skywalker. I did not previously have this. I've got a miniature version, one of the 6-inch versions of him, but now I've got this. Bang. So I'm gonna open him up today. I'm gonna open up Hot Shot. I don't know who the hell Hot Shot is, and I can care less. You know what I'm saying? But these two little guys, they're cool. And Hot Shot himself looks a little bit like Skywarp, which means I'll have all three of the original Seekers in their Cybertronian transformation mode. So that's kind of cool, I'm saying. So I'm going to open up those two. First, however, I've got 6 other things to open. And I keep on forgetting that I've got these to open. So I'm going to keep these right up here. Are they 6? Wait, it looks like there's 7. How do I have 7? I shouldn't have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I should have 8, in fact. Wait a second, am I missing one? Might be missing one. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I've got 8. So anyway, it's these guys. So I actually got my hands on the first edition of these guys. So yeah, a whole bunch of cool little guys to open up, the little Imaginext DC heroes. So I've literally got Marvel. No, excuse me. I've got no Marvel to open up today, but I've got DC, Star Wars, and Transformers. I'm going to say it's not a bad little haul to be opened up live for you guys. Phil Eiling, hello all. Raven, good day. Corey, what's going on, Corey? What is this? I'm picking up a lot of new auction wins tomorrow. Sweet, sweet. Yeah, always be careful with those eBay wins. Always be careful with those eBay wins because a lot of times they don't come in the quality or the shape that you want or the ones that you want. You got to definitely consider filming. So like look down and or have your wife, somebody film you opening the thing. What do you call it? Just because my hair looks really funny today. What's going on? Why does my hair look funny today? It seems to want to really do a big, it almost looks like a comb over. I don't do comb overs. I don't do comb overs. Anyway, so yeah. Oh, geez, no comic book shop. I'm in a wife beater today. Hope you all don't mind. Like, my knife wound. It's actually a box cutter wound that I had when I was younger. um, what do you call it? So yeah, Sabrina's here. We got local auction. Oh, it's local. Okay, good. So you can always go over to the person's house and kick their sorry butt if the wrong items inside. But yeah, definitely always consider having your butt covered and open up your eBay packages on camera so you can say, "Hey, this wasn't what I asked for. Look, I didn't switch anything," because people will lie through their teeth. People will straight up stone cold lie through their teeth on those eBay packages. I actually have an eBay package I have to pick up tomorrow. I think it's actually comic books. And I'm sad because I was like, I should go pick it up, but I didn't feel like leaving the house today. Oh, dude, yesterday. So check this out. I go to take out the garbage yesterday. I'm only taking out the garbage like twice a week. You know what I'm saying? Because, come on. So I go to take out the garbage and I got to take the elevator to get back upstairs, right? I go to take out the garbage because I got my underground parking lot and whatnot. So check this out. I go and I take out my garbage, okay? excuse me, I also take out my recycling, put all that stuff away. I go back down to the car because I remember I left two things downstairs. One, from a shopping trip that I did a couple days ago. One is a small bag of charcoal. All right. My wife likes to have her little incenses and she actually puts it on a piece of charcoal and, all that stuff. And also, it's not a bad thing to have yourself a little grill, not a gas power. I don't recommend keeping gas powered grills inside of your home, but what do you call it, like charcoal and things like that. I'm a huge fan of keeping charcoal inside of your home and a small burner, even if it means going to a dollar store and getting one of those foldable grills. They're meant for one-time use, but you can use them for more than one time. But I've got a small little grill and charcoal, just in case. Just in case. You never know if people thought I was silly for having protective masks and gloves and freaking extra food and water in my home. Just in case. Well, nobody's laughing now. All that being said, also consider just in case the freaking power goes out or something like that, have candles, have a grill, you know what I'm saying? Have a couple extra things just in case. So I go downstairs to grab that and a small bag, big bag, but a small bag of onions, right? So I go down to grab those things and I want to grab the mail. So I get all these things and I start going back and I'm waiting for the elevator to bring me back up. This guy with his kid on a bicycle comes over and it's like, oh, guy took his kid out for a bike ride. Cool. I haven't taken my kids outside for anything in weeks, you know what I'm saying? But he needs to take his kid out for a bike ride. Sure. So now what? I got to share an elevator with this guy who's freaking, doing whatever. So I'm just staring and I'm looking and it's just like, you can go first. I'm like, oh, you're going to wait for me to go first? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, I actually appreciate that. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Because I was there waiting the longest for the elevator. Because, I don't want to share an elevator. The elevators are only but so big. So I don't want to share an elevator with somebody because, breathing the same air. And I was only coming downstairs and stupid me, I didn't think to grab a handkerchief or, bandana or a mask or anything like that. I was just figured whatever. So anyway, so I'm getting ready to go on the elevator. Oh, and this one girl comes over and she's got mental problems. All right. She's got physical problems, mental problems. This girl's got all the problems in the world on her. Right. But that's none of my concern when I'm about to wind up getting freaking COVID-19 from her. So she's over there. She walks over, it's like she comes in like, oh, okay, hey. And then she like leaves like she's going to go someplace else and go do something else. So I go to get on the elevator. She comes around, she's got, one of those walkers that are on wheels, so it moves pretty fast. Anyway, so I go and I get on the elevator. The guy's like, whatever. And then I see him go like this. And the girl suddenly, gets on the elevator. And she takes forever to get on the elevator. She's standing there on the elevator. And mind you, I hold my breath on the elevator because I don't have too far to go. And I can hold my breath for a pretty long time, So it's one of the things I've always kept from my martial arts time is being able to hold your breath for a long time, right? But I can't hold my breath indefinitely. So she's standing at the elevator with her finger on the up button and she's looking in. She's talking to us. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's hard for me to, travel places. Like she wants to have a freaking conversation right now. I'm infuriated at this woman at this point. I'm already infuriated. And I'm like, oh, shoot. She's like, and she looks in, she's like, going up. You've got your finger on the up button, not the down button, the up button. And you can't freaking figure out, like I said, she's got problems. All right. So I'm getting ready to leave, but she starts walking on because I'm ignoring her. I don't want to have a conversation with her, right? She starts walking onto the freaking elevator. At this point, with the walker and everything, I can't get by her now. Like I actually start walking forward, and then she's not looking. She's looking down as she's coming on. I'm like, oh, great. So I just walk back with like, all right, whatever. So she's telling me to, what floor she's on. I actually know what floor she's on, and I go up to push the button, for her, and she's repeating it again and again. And it's like, I'm physically pushing the button right now. I've left the freaking button. It's already pushed. And she's saying to push it. I'm like, Argh. So then she starts having a conversation with me. How are you? I don't want to have a conversation because, we're in very close proximity on this elevator now. Plus, she's facing me. I'm facing forward and she's facing me. She is about 2 feet, maybe 2.5 feet away from me. And she's having a full-blown conversation with me. And I'm thinking to myself, this woman is probably going to wind up, if she's got the virus, then she's probably going to wind up passing it to me right now. So I've got to make sure that I'm not breathing. But more than that, as she's talking to me, I got to make sure she's not getting any small spittle globulets on me. So I hold my mail up to my face like this to the side because, mind you, I'm still holding my breath. And I'm like, oh my God, she's not going to shut up. And I don't even have that far to go until, we get to my floor where I'm going to get off. But she's literally, how are the kids? How are the kids? How are the kids? Like she's at the point where she's practically about to start yelling. Like, do you think that I'm that hard of hearing? But she's not getting it. She's not reading the signs that say, hey, try to maintain, elevator integrity. And, I'm like, I really can't believe this. I genuinely cannot believe this. Wow. So I'm just like, I'm just going to like, what am I going to do at this point? Yell at her? You know what I'm saying? Tell her, please stop talking, because she's just gonna be like, why? We've always talked before. She really just doesn't get it. But I don't want to. I don't want to stop holding my breath to have a conversation with her. Long story short, I finally get off, and she's still yelling towards me as I'm walking towards where my home is. She's still sitting there yelling. How are the kids? Like, oh my God, this moron, this freaking moron. Because health problems or not, there's got to be something wrong with you that you don't get. Don't freaking talk in a damn elevator right now, especially not when you're facing someone. Like, I was infuriated. So of course, I go home. I start dropping my stuff. My kids come up to me. I'm like, babe, get them away. And I'm just like, whatever. And I go and I just like right away, as I'm walking in, I'm taking off my clothes. I'm putting them in a small bundle, inside the bathroom. I'm taking a shower. I'm scrubbing with a freaking bar of soap. Like, wow. And I'm just like, I cannot freaking believe this is happening. I cannot freaking believe this is happening. And there is a case right over here. You going Winter Soldier on it. Even if I would have said, shut up, she might have started crying. You know what I'm saying? Because there's, like I said, there's actually something wrong with her. Mentally, there's something wrong with her. She's not like full blown short bus, whatever. I hope I'm not insulting anybody. But like at this point, like I don't care what anybody's problem is. I don't care. I'm worried about my health. So, and I'm still there in my mind. You know what I'm saying? So wow, I almost lost it. But like, what am I going to do? I literally have to just keep my cool and just not provoke a situation, because if she starts screaming or crying because she's in an emotional distress right now, lady, I'm not your shrink. I can't be your shrink right now. So yeah, just wow. Anyway, so that was yesterday. That was my yesterday. So I didn't feel like going to the post office today. Maybe next week I'll show you if there's comic books from eBay. Maybe I'll actually show you what those comics are, especially since they're like more than a month late. And I actually already got a refund from them, which means I'm going to have to let the person know, hey, I actually got the comic books. I've got to repay you at this point. Anyway, so bang, the first one I got some Red Hood, and he's got this gigantic freaking gun that comes with him. Yes, it's removable, but yeah, I just put it in his hand. So I've got this version of Red Hood. I like it. He's cool. I'm probably going to try and put like a little hood around him, my little stuff there. And let's read up some of these comics up in here. So you're watching WoW, or you're playing WoW while you're listening. Cool. Are you Horde or are you Alliance, Alan from Impact Comics? Nothing to report on, so just here to listen for a while. Hey, that's cool. I'm just here for that. I'm totally here for that. Mark Guerrero's late. You didn't miss much. The cast and writers of Parks and Recreation made a new episode for Get Out of Town. Oh, wow, that's awesome. I've never watched Parks and Recreation, but still, that's really cool. Oh, I dig on that. Nice. Would be great if more creators did something like that. Hell, if Joss Whedon and Dr. Horrible too, I'd donate a few bucks, right? I'm not asking for donations, but I am saying that eBay, I don't know if it's just me or if it's all your YouTube creators that are out there, but every live stream that I have done for the past month, I can't actually monetize it until after it's over. You know what I'm saying? Like about a half an hour after it's over, that's when I'm allowed to monetize my live streams. So whenever I go live to talk to you guys, it's literally as free as free can get. But I didn't complain about it. And like I said, I'm not asking for anything. I'm just saying in general, it's like, dude, this is this is killing me. Are you kidding me? As it stands, my monetization rate, it's like it's up there, and I've always complained, like, dude, nobody watches ads. Like, whatever, man. Like, I'm hardly getting anything from this. And then to make it worse, I'm not putting out as much content. To make it even worse, there aren't that many ads being put out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like YouTube, my ad revenue has actually gone to less than $100 per month. Less than $100 per month. It's actually getting closer to closer to $50 per month. Like, are you freaking kidding me? You know what I'm saying? The Google AdSense thing that came in, I'm just like, wow. So this is almost 100% charitable donation. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I'm putting out on YouTube at this point, nobody's clicking ads, or there aren't any ads to be, viewed. Just it's wow, it's freaking frightening. But so honestly, like, if somebody literally just said, thank you, Alan. I appreciate it. And you know what? Here, so you're going to get a little Red Hood. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate that. Toss a coin to your Witcher. Let me throw that up really quick. That's actually a funny one. I appreciate that. I'm not going to kill anybody for you, though. I'm just saying. But honestly, whoever your favorite YouTubers are, consider actually, like, if you watch them a lot, consider throwing a coin to that particular Witcher. Hey, Comic Quirks, what's going on, dude? Mark, what do you do for a living outside of these videos? Oh, I've explained lots of times. I do what do you call I teach English. So I got to get back into that mode now. So I actually teach English online to kids in China. So you can imagine how well that's going right now. I don't have a lot of hours. It's not like union protected. It's not anything. So I actually don't have a lot of hours from that coming in. So you'd think I've got more free time on my hands, right? No, it's more family time. My wife has gone on a freaking binge as of late, and she's buying stuff from eBay. She's bought two new shoe racks. Like, they're IKEA shoe racks that came in. She bought a new headboard. She bought a new what is it called? A cabinet for in the kitchen, to, like a pantry for the kitchen. My God, man. She got a table coming in. She's got a new wardrobe in here coming in. She's got a new closet, not closet, but like a new wardrobe style closet for my toys, because I've got a lot of toys. She's like, the toys are taking over the house. I'm like, yeah, pretty soon there's not going to be a lot of room for you or the toys. Who do you think I'm going to defend? Anyway, she just keeps on buying things because she's redecorating the whole house. Now that she's home, she feels the need to redecorate everything. I've still got to do all the cleaning, mind you. I'm still the one who's teaching the kids. Sometimes she'll take the our younger kid, and she'll teach him while I'm teaching the older kid, if I'm going to be doing like a really in-depth lesson, or I've got to oversee him while he's doing the Khan Academy math stuff. But oh my God, forget about it. Like, she's rearranging everything. She's putting new things. She's reorganizing everything, and all this stuff that she's building. You know who's stuck building the stuff, right? It ain't her. She hasn't built a single thing. It's all me. So all of my duties have just compounded. So I'm not working as much, but so I'm not making as much, but I'm physically working more. Fortunately, she's still getting paid from her job, and she's just got less to do. Somehow everything seems to work in her freaking favor. She's got less to do somehow, but yeah, she's got to put up like one workshop per week. So here are all the things that I'm expecting to get, because I should actually tell you how I get all the things that I get in these toys, these figures, because yeah. So these are all the things I'm expecting to get. What's funny is I actually own every single one of these figures as it is. I don't have that thing for the Joker. I don't know what that is. I'll find out soon enough. And I don't think I have that cat for Catwoman, but I do have that Catwoman and a motorcycle that she comes with. So hey, there's that. Okay. Oh, that's where Le Garbage goes. So let's continue opening some things. Pass the plate, pass the plate. I'm wincing and cussing on your behalf. I know, right? Again, Jimmy? I don't know what the Jimmy thing is. It sounds like a movie reference that I'm totally missing. Jim Lee's been cranking out so many charity sketches for the various comics booksellers, charities DC is helping. That's a repeat. Okay, so I got you. That's really cool. But at the same time, imagine Bill Gates doing that. Okay, maybe that's a, and actually that's wrong. That's a bad summary because he's just the CEO of a company. He's not like, retired, I own everything guy from the company. But honestly, think about the idea that you are now the most important person at DC Comics proper. Okay, he's not the publisher. All right, he's not like the owner of all, but he's the CEO right now of DC. And literally, the only thing that this figurehead can think to do is, well, I'm really just an artist. I'm not really a CEO. I'm not really anybody important at DC. They just put me in that position because reasons. So instead, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw pictures and sell those pictures online for charity. Literally, you can't think of anything else to do. Meanwhile, you're trying to resell comic books that you've already sold, but in digital format, and breaking them down and being deceitful about them also. Jim Lee is a great artist, and I'm sure he's a great person to meet one-on-one. But my God, man, if Jim Lee were in charge of my company and I couldn't get rid of him in my company, I would just destroy the entire company. I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not anything. Jim Lee is terrible, terrible for DC Comics in the position that he's at right now. Literally, he should be fired from his position, hired as an artist because that's what he's good at, and just say, here you go. Continue making your little charitable stuff right now, because nobody can figure out what the hell Jim Lee's purpose is in DC Comics right now. He's not any more of a help for DC Comics or for comic book companies, comic book, what is it called? Comic book, local comic book stores. All right. He's no better for these than any artist or any writer for the most part in any way, shape, or form. And that is just horrible, man. My wife is a settlement worker, so she helps people who don't have jobs find jobs, and she writes resumes for people. So yeah, her job isn't going anywhere, and she's trying to make it private business also at one point, and maybe we'll see her do that one of these days. Right? It's the Fed. Scatter, cryptid. Dang, wow, that was a lot of jumping. Dang, I'm still working on a Champions wall in my room. All I put up were comics I hope to buy, posters, and action figures once things get back to normal. Yeah, I pretty much do the exact same thing. You can see I put up oh, come on. There we go. The 3 who are 1. I put up those ladies recently. So there's that. Hey, almost for the Bard. Thank you, Raven. Genuinely appreciate it. Bang. Appreciate it, Raven. Again, guys, seriously, this is not me like, shaking the cup or anything like that. If you have it, cool. If you don't take care of your families. All right. That's what we do here. Viclops X-Man, what's going on, dude? Parks and Recreation raised $3 million. That's awesome. What did they raise it for? That's the question mark. Today, I discovered Bendis making an awesome concept like Elliot S. Maggins' Miracle Monday. Less awesome. Batter. That actually sounds kind of funny. The original concept for the celebration was Superman beating the devil. Bendis makes it a celebration of revealing his identity. What's miraculous about that? Right. Jim is a multi-millionaire right now anyway. Heck, he even has subscriptions for his Twitch streams. He's living quite comfortably. Wow. Yeah, that's great. But as the CEO of, as the person who's in charge of DC Comics right now, what has he actually done for DC Comics? That's great that DC's got things going for him. My God, man. Hey, Comic Boom is here. Shoot. I'm still trying to think of something for us to do together, Comic Boom. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of something else. Because, yeah. How you been, dude? This is where, the legs for these guys don't actually work. Yes, this is the next one that I opened up. I got a Joker. And he's got his, I don't know, some kind of it looks like a key / crank wrench that he's got. I don't know. I don't care. It's awesome. I've actually got this version of the Joker already. I don't have that green thing on his face, though, on his hair. So that's cool also. Hey, Comic Boom. Thank you, sir. Wow. Thank you. That's like the first here, for you, sir. For you. Is your comic retailer open? No, Gotham Central is not open. Um, Alan's agreeing with me. Thank you. Big Ticket J Rock. You reading anything lately? Yeah, dude. I'm actually throwing up my the things that I am reading, the spotlights and stories. I'm rereading all of the Iron Man books from Tales of Suspense and the Avengers onward. So I've got 2 videos up, and I'm actually going to I've got a third one that's literally ready. I could just click go right now, but in it I referenced 2 characters that I said that I've done a spotlight, or excuse me, a 10 things about video for, and I haven't actually done the 10 things about video for these 2 characters yet. So I'm going to do those 2 first. I'm going to throw them up, and then I'm going to put up this one, and I'll continue reading my comics and going through armor by armor for Iron Man. Not little redesigns, but the big reveals. You know, the individual marks. So where he actually, like, I've done Mark 1 and Mark 2 already. Mark 3, like I said, is ready to go. I just have 2 10 things about videos to explain for that one. Also, I have Raven also did one. I'm going to give a quick dance for Raven, but first I have to put the character together. Oh, this is cool. I don't have this character. So this is with the purple gloves. This looks like a version of the original Batman, but it's not. You can actually see this Imaginext. You can see those little things on the back, the wings on his back. Plus, he's got handcuffs. So it's kind of like the original version of Batman, but it's not. It doesn't have the purple interior of the cape or anything like that. But anyway, so this one's for Raven. Hey. um, Let's see what else I can pop open here. Jim has done nothing for DC Comics lately. Not even lately. Jim has done nothing for DC Comics. The only thing that he's done for DC Comics is say, "Hey, let's re-release these comics that we put out for at Walmart," which pissed off comic book retailers so much that half of the and I talked about this in my podcast with Chillmonger last week. Hey, got another one coming out tomorrow morning. I love those conversations with Showmonger, man. Like, we had ourselves an almost knockdown, drag out brawl last week over the Star Wars controversy. The girl who used to be an assistant for Harvey Weinstein. You know what? I'm going to give another one to. I'm going to do another one really quick for Comic Boom. I know he's getting 2, but one, I love Boom if he's still here, but I know he also loves Catwoman, and I know you're used to this version of Catwoman from the thing that you've got. If nobody knows what I'm talking about, go and watch a Comic Boom video. You'll understand. But anyway, so you got what do you call it? Catwoman and her little black cat who looks like she's hissing. So that's cool. That's cool. So bang. But anyway, yeah, OMAC versus the Sentinels. That's actually a really good one, and I don't want to go there. I mean, well, then I guess I can because it's DC, and like I said, DC is just more powerful. So there's that. What do we got on the plus side? Today's episodes of DuckTales, Astro Boyd, working friendship between Disney. I don't know what any of that stuff means, dude. I'm sorry, Batter. Um, I got to watch DuckTales because everybody's saying it's good, but I haven't actually watched them yet. I feel like Jim is still there just because he's not a dick and he gets along with everybody. Yeah, but at the same time, Tom the Fish, you're 100% right. But Jim still has his artwork is still top notch. You're not wrong in any way, shape, or form. You are 100% right in the things you said. But I'm also a Jim Shooter guy, and I look at it as, although you might have a bunch of people quitting Marvel Comics, if Jim Shooter did come in, I do believe that if Jim Shooter came in, the revenue, the stock of Marvel would drastically skyrocket. I'm talking it would, if it didn't double, it's because it tripled. You know what I'm saying? Jim Shooter coming in again, you'd probably have a bunch of people like, I refuse to work with this guy. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But even my favorite writers and my favorite artists, if some of them were to quit, if they can't handle the heat of Jim Shooter coming in, sorry, but honestly, I am all for giving Jim Shooter a 2-year trial. You know what I'm saying? At least a 1-year trial. But if Shooter came in, I genuinely believe that the stock of Marvel would skyrocket, that people would be reading Marvel again, would be buying Marvel comics again like nobody's business. And just like, that's my opinions. Hey, pretty much every single one of those movies that are coming out right now, all of the Marvel movies, you look at them, you seriously take a good look at them. They're mostly movies that came out, movies that are based on the comics when Shooter was in charge, or immediately after he left. You know what I'm saying? So hey, there's that. Okay, so I've also got a Harvey Two-Face, Two-Face Dent right up in here, and I don't have this version of Harvey, but I do have his coin. So now I have two of his coins, which is cool. The coin that I have actually, this one is Harvey and then Two-Face on it, which is cool. I don't have this version of his coin, but I do have a version of his coin, same size, but it's got both of the Harveys, and one of them is scratched. So I actually like that one better than this, but I'm going to give a flip. Sorry. Next person who comments in the chat, I got to put a bullet in you. So let's see who it's going to be. Anybody got something to say? Everybody scared now? Should be. Oh, there we go. Comics Quirks. Sorry, bud. I got to shoot you. I got to bang. The coin rules. Oh, it's 0 Year Batman. Thank you, Mark. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't think I read 0 Year. Oh, years. Oh, yeah, I did. Does it look like him? Yeah, the black stripes down the. Okay, you know what? My bad. You're right. Good looking out. Good looking out. That was solid. All right, you got it, bruh. You got it. Let's see. The Jim Ballant Catwoman. Yeah, this is from her. I think this is her most famous series. I've got the first, I think, 6 issues, maybe no 10. I think I got the first 10 issues, including the issue #1 that actually has the puffy cover. I can't remember what that's called, but it's got the puffy cover and it's like sparkly or whatever, and it's like totally awesome. Yeah, my absolute favorite suit of hers. Kind of sad it doesn't come with a whip, but it is what it is. I've actually also got the big version of her also. I've still got my Earthrise Optimus Prime over here. Where is my... There it is. There she is. Bang! Best version of Selena Kyle, in my opinion, ever. Like, I get it, the whole Joelle Jolie version, like, it's all good. It's all good, but this one right here, and this is just to tell you how much I love this version. Look at the claws. Look at the like, that is just awesome. The way her hands are shaped and everything, the way that everything is shaped. But I love this version so much that this is a 7-inch character, and I hate the 7-inch series. I want all of my figures to be the same height. So Marvel Legends and the original DC stuff is all 6 inches. So with this coming out 7 inches, like, she'd be looking down on some of the Superman characters that I have and whatnot. So that breaks my heart a little bit, but I've never found a 6-inch version of that. So yeah, I absolutely love that version. Yeah, the recent DuckTales was a tribute to Astro Boy. Yeah, I've never actually even watched Astro Boy, but that's awesome. I do love the idea they do stuff like that. Like, that's the way you do certain crossovers, right? And Boast, thank you, Big Ticket, with J-Rock. I love that name, J-Rock. What do you call it? I appreciate, yeah, the embossed covers. I knew there's a name for it. Hey, Battle Rapper D, just got done reading Secret Invasion, and I have one question. Where was Doctor Strange? That's a solid question. One of the reasons why Doctor Strange is left out of so many stories is because, let's face it, if Doctor Strange shows up, he wraps everything up. I remember I did this thing with Nerdicy the one time. Actually, one of the very first Nerdicy things that I did. They were like, hey, let's check out D&Dized versions of certain Marvel or DC characters. Mostly they were doing the Marvel characters. So I did Doctor Strange movie was coming out. So before the movie came out, before the first trailer even came out, I think it was before the first trailer came out, I did a D&Dized version of Doctor Strange. And I basically made him level 60. And the one guy, Ted, loves me some Ted, but Ted was trying to make fun of me. He was laughing. He's like, come on, man, level 60, like, that's just ridiculous. He's more powerful than most of the gods in D&D and blah, 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 blah. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I didn't say that I was going to make him comparable to whatever. I was going by basic things that he can do and things that he's got. And I didn't even get into the magical items that he has. All I really got into, actually, no, I did do some of the magical items that he has, and I put D&D terms to those also, so that if you wanted to play Dr. Stephen Strange in Dungeons and Dragons, boom, here you go. But it was just like, level 60, like that's ridiculous and blah, 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 blah. But I went over why. And after the fact, they went back and they looked at it and they're like, damn, that was actually really good. That was actually really good. They had to admit, okay, I made fun of Bill, but he was 100% right. Yeah, I know. But yeah, there's that. Anyway, hey, check this out. Oh, there we go, Nightwing. Now, I like the blue better than the red, but I have to admit, the red, even though it was short-lived, was amazing. Like, it looked really good, right? And you wouldn't have the blue without the red, because basically it's the same costume design. But the what do you call it? I've actually got that version of the figure over here also. But what do you call it? Yeah, I've got the blue version here, so like, bang. But anyway, yeah. So we've got, and he actually comes with his stick, which is awesome, his little bow staff. So I dig on that. I'm liking that. So I got 2 more of those to go, and then I'll start cracking open the big ones. So what do we got over here? I like the 90s cartoon Catwoman costume, plus I like her as a blonde. As a blonde? Really? Okay, I did not like her as a blonde. Hey, to each their own, but no, I did not like her as a blonde. I gave up on scale years ago. Yeah, right? No, I'm still kind of a purist. Plus, when I get my table, I can actually start putting together a bunch of my sceneries, make some new sceneries, and start doing my my stop motion animations. Because yeah, oh, here we go. Okay, we got some one-eyed evil showing up here. Let me put that to the side. Is that everything that's in the package? Just want to make sure. Okay, here he is. Without the mask, which is awesome because I have one with the mask. Now I have one without the mask. And he comes with his totally awesome sword. The other one comes with his bow staff. And it's actually part of a 6-pack that has like, some 4 or 6-pack. I think it's a 6-pack that has a bunch of characters that come with it also. But now I've got Deathstroke like this. This is awesome because right now, the only character that I need to do an Imaginext stop motion animation version of the Judas Contract is Starfire. You know what I'm saying? Once I get started, because I've got all of the other characters, and I would like to get some more versions of Beast Boy. No, wait. No, I've got Starfire. I don't have Beast Boy. Yes, I don't have Beast Boy. That's the one. I would like to get Beast Boy in the gorilla. He's got the big green gorilla, but I do have his kangaroo that came with oh, for crying out loud, with Terra. I've got a whole bunch of them, but I don't have. Yeah, anyway, but now I've also got Slade without his mask, which makes it I'm that much closer. This is like an extra in order to be able to do what do you call it? The Judas Contract. And I really want to. I've even got the Titans Tower, for crying out loud. So I could do like a Teen Titans Go version or a Teen Titans cartoon version of Judas Contract. Make it cooler. What do we got here? Thank you for the $5. Oh, and I'll give you a little. I like it how. Oh, never mind. Now I'm reading it. I like how. How is it that no one mentions that the red version of Nightwing looks so much like the live action Robin? I don't know. I've never noticed. The red version of Nightwing looks so much like live action Robin. Does it? I didn't watch season 2, so I think that's half of the problem there. I didn't watch season 2 of Titans. So yeah, because I didn't really like the first version, but I've tried to keep my, Alan also said, I've tried to keep my figures the same scale as well. I have a Superboy Metropolis Kid, ooh, nice, who is very close in height to Susan Storm. I think I know the one that you're talking about too. Yeah, because I do love the jacket. I love the original version. He's like, oh, tactile telekinesis, which, mind you, is a freaking awesome power when you think about it. Tactile telekinesis. Who thinks like that? Oh yeah. Amazing stories. Amazing stories. And it's definitely a cool version. And I had that version. I had the original 6-inch version that came out with the DC. I think they were called the DC Universe Legends, whatever they were. They were sold in Toys R Us before there was even a Walmart to compete with Kmart's and stuff like that, So yeah, those figures were available then, and there were some. I think there were even some Toys R Us exclusives. But anyway, Yeah, imagine that before there was a Walmart, or before Walmart was actually a threat to anybody. Okay, now I've got a version of Bruce Wayne without um, his hood on, without his cowl. It actually came in the Imaginext 10. No, there was a 6 or 7 pack. It was a 6 or 7 pack that had a bunch of Bruce Waynes, including the Green Lantern version of Bruce Wayne and the original whatever. But they actually had a demasked one, which is awesome. And he also comes with a giant-sized batarang, which I don't know what. I've actually got one of these also. I've got, so this makes 2 of them. It's the exact same thing, like to the letter, to the little braille indents over there on the side. But anyway, I've got 2 of these. I'm not upset that I got another one of these, because I can always do some kind of a modification to this one and make it, so like, maybe put a lab jacket, a lab coat on this one. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, a bunch of things I could do. Anyway, oh, was that the last one? Oh, shoot, that was the last one. I forgot to show you guys the secret. Listen, if anybody's interested in getting the Imaginext figures, like they just re-released the first wave, at least up here in Canada. These, you can find these in Canada. You can find these in the stores right now. The problem is they're the blind bags, right? They're called the blind bags because you don't know what character you're going to get inside. There's all 8 of them, and you could buy 8 and you might get 3 of the same one, right? No, no, no. There's a secret. Turn the thing around. And I think it's these ones right up here. You see these little embossed letters right up there, those numbers? It says 37 on this particular one, doesn't it? 87. Anyway, whatever the heck it says. You can look at those. You can look at the embossed letters here, but you have to look on the back. And you'll see, like, what do you call it? It's not the UPC because they're all the same, right? But DC has to have a way to actually label which ones are which. Or not DC, but Imaginext has to have a way to do that. And the way they do that is these little embossed things up here. So what you have to do is you have to go and you have to find the box. And if you're not the first one to the box, you have to find 2 boxes. So if they have one of the boxes in the back that aren't opened, open up the box. What are they going to do? Kick you out the damn store? So you go up and you open up and you look inside and you count on the front how many figures there are going to be. So you look and you see on this one there's 8, some packs there's 6, but whatever. You look at them and you say, okay, check this out. I've got to find all 8 of them. And you find the numbers, they're all going to be in a row. So if it's like 62481, find 62482, 62483, and so on and so forth until you get all 8 of them, right? Double check to make sure there's no surprise ones anywhere, like like an 80 or what would it be, 89? You know what I'm saying? Make sure, actually it'd be a 90. Make sure that they don't have, like a surprise one snuck in there someplace. And then boom. Once you have all of those, you'll literally be able to go home and open each one. That's how I knew that each one was going to be different when I opened these, because I went in, I just rifled through, I put them in my cart. The ones that I already looked and it's like, oh no, I already have that one. I put it to the side. And the ones that I don't have, I put in my cart. I keep on checking. Do I have all the numbers in a row? Oops, I'm missing an 83. Let me keep digging through. There's an 83. Boom, put it in there. Double check. There's all 8. All in a row. Boom, I got them all. Double check, there's no number below or above. Okay, I'm cool. Stuff all the rest back in the box. Walk away, baby. Walk away. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I do it. Zen World, what's up? Marvel slate of shows Disney Plus being put on hiatus. Yes, they are. But go figure, the Mandarin. No. The Mandalorian, The Mandalorian is not being put on hiatus because that's finished. It's just in post-production. There are people going in, they're doing post-production on it right now, despite lockdowns, because they're able to do it like 1 or 2 people in there and safe distances and whatever at a time, so that in the fall, the season 2 will still come out on time. And now we've got the live action of Robin I was referring to is from the 1997 Batman and Robin movie. Oh, yes, you're 100% right. And in which case you're going to be like, yes, you're 100% right. Yeah, who played him? Shoot, somebody played him. I can't remember who his name is. Connolly? Whatever his freaking name is. Somebody will say it in the chat. It'd probably be Raven. How much you want to bet Raven's the first person to put it in the chat? Anyway, so yeah, they're gonna get in. He's like, whoa, no, sorry, son. Whoa, so yes, and thank you for, what was that, like your 3rd super chat, Alan? Thank you, I appreciate it. But I'm good. They call me Bruce. They call me Bruce Batman. I'm digging it. I'm digging. Okay, that fell. Heard people once again complaining about Robert Downey Jr. doing blackface, despite the fact that he didn't actually play a black man. Oh, this for Tropic Thunder, dude. Everybody's giving him a pass on it. I don't know who's complaining at this point. But if they're complaining, you know what? Honestly, they've got a right to complain. They've got a right to complain. But honestly, it is what it is. Oh, I was wrong. It's B. Mizzy. Chris O'Donnell. Thank you. Chris O'Donnell. Alan Russett is second. No points. No points for you, Raven, but it's all good. Comic Boom, you have now convinced me to go to Walmart and look into Imaginext. Hey, brother. Yeah, if you're interested in it, because like Marvel does the Imaginext too, but actually, no, they don't. The company they do it through is, oh, shoot, I can't remember what it's called. It's a different company. And it's the same company that does the Transformers stuff. And I think it's the same company that does the, anyway, I think that the Jurassic World stuff, whatever, the better ones are always the DC ones for Imaginext. Like these little figures, they and these are considered 2.5 inch. These are 2.5 inch, so they're called 2.5 inch scale. So even though that's not the proper scale term, we don't have an actual scale term for that. Like the 6-inch figures are usually called. They're not all 6 inches, but we call them the 1/12 scale. So 1 inch on the figure equals 1 foot on a human. That's what they're doing here. They can't really do that with these because they don't match up. They're all 2.5 inches tall. That's the way it works. Unless you got like one of the big ones, like the Doomsday that I've got is freaking huge. But hey, dang, I was really looking forward to the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. I know, right? Millennials are just now finding out about Tropic Thunder, and it's hilarious. I was dating a millennial when that movie came out, so nah, and yeah, no, they knew about the movie. I think it's the Gen Z, the Zoomers, the Gen Zs who are figuring it out. That's the thing. It's hard to judge things of the yore like they do the things of today, but it is what it is. Okay, now I'm gonna start opening my Bespin Luke. All right, and basically he's also the Tatooine Luke. It's the same damn thing, but they're calling him Bespin Luke Skywalker. So all of these just came out, and the ATST trooper. That's ATST trooper, right? No, the AT-AT, the AT-AT trooper, the AT-AT trooper. That was actually a really hard figure to find when it came out in the regular Black series. This is I don't remember what this is called. This is not considered the Blacks. Oh no, it is. It's also Black series, but it's Black series blister packs. So they always call these with the figure sticking out the front. They call these the blister packs. There's the regular boxed in ones. Oh, like this, who I haven't opened yet because I can't remember if I already have him or not. But Kanan, this is also Black series, says it right up on the front. But I've got the Kanan Jarius, and so this one, and this is figure number 19. I found him and I was like, oh, and I grabbed him. It was only $20 as opposed to the typical 30 up here in Canada. So do the math for what it would be in America. But anyway, so actually that would be like, instead of paying $20 for it, that'd be like getting it for 15. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 13. Anyway, so I found him, and if I already have him, I'm just going to post him for sale someplace. That's why I haven't opened him yet. But yeah. Anyway, so that's the regular box, and this is the blister pack. So that's how we usually delineate which ones are which. So anyway, he says it right in there in the green, Luke Skywalker, and in parentheses, Bespin. So yeah, all that good stuff. Anyway, let me pop this puppy open. Oh, the other one's what do you call it? Master Yoda, who just got released recently, and I already have him when he was in the regular box. I just bought, and I didn't open her yet, but I just got her not too long ago from Big Bad Toy Store, the Hoth version of Leia, and this is the Bespin version of Han Solo. If I find him in the stores, maybe I'll get him, but I think I already have the Bespin version of Han Solo. If I do, and I get another one, then okay, not a big deal. I'll just encase them in carbonite in case I can't find one in carbonite. But I don't have, but now I do, the Bespin version of Luke. 1 inch equals 1 foot. That's what I tell my wife. Comic Boom, hey. Nice one. Gen Z, sorry, no worries. That's a great looking figure. I know, right? Luke, I'm your father. You're going to get some Star Wars purists in here, Tommy, talking about, that's wrong. That's not what he says. He says, no, I'm your father. But anyway, like it's nothing. Anyway, we say the Luke just so people know exactly what we're talking about. Mark Guerrero, Flash season 7 is the last on Grant Gustin's contract. Negotiations for a 2-year extension were halted because of the virus. I'm sure he'll come back. Like it doesn't serve him to not come back, right? Hey, Sue-Ann, how's Sue-Ann doing? How are we doing? I haven't seen you in a live chat for a while, so I'm glad that you're okay. Sue-Ann and I talk in private whenever she's available, so I know that she's alive. That's mostly all I'm concerned with. So, open this puppy up. Okay, so you got to slide out the lightsaber. I've got so many of these blue lightsabers that it's cool. Is this one of the ones that will easily come out? No. A lot of these, they will easily pop out, like my General Grievous that I'm looking at up there. They will pop out so you could just have the lightsaber hilt. But I've also noticed that there's some of them that if you pull them out, they actually break. So now you've only got a hilt with a little blue thing inside. So you got to be really careful with those. The ones in the boxes, you can usually separate. The ones in the blister packs, you cannot. So keep that in mind when you're going to do the things that you're going to do. Ed Brewer, what's up? My niece, who was 11 at the time, saw Tropic Thunder, and she didn't even realize that was Iron Man in the movie until I told her, right? Yeah, again, I didn't have a problem with it because I don't see it as blackface, but at the same time, I also only have but so much ground to stand on for there because, if a black person wants to be insulted by it, they have every single right in the world to be insulted by it. So, yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. In fact, what's funny is that Robert Downey Jr., when he was on, because Joe Rogan asked a bunch of people about it too, including like Jamie Foxx. It's like, you okay with him doing this? Like, psh, we know that he did. Like everybody in the acting community knows that he didn't mean anything negative by it. So like, it depends on what your intent is by doing the thing, and it's evident that, and he was called out on it in the movie, what I'm saying, like not behind the scenes, but like in the movie, the one guy the black guy who was actually gay, like he called him out on it. Everybody was calling him out on it in the movie, so it was a running joke, and it's like whatever, it is what it is. But Robert Downey Jr., when he was asked about it, he's like, yeah, I think that the movie could be made again today. It would just simply have to be in the right context. But I do know that there was some heat thrown my way. But for the most part, most of the heat actually went towards Ben Stiller because he portrayed a mentally handicapped person. And unlike Sean Penn and everybody else who was mentioned by Robert Downey Jr. in the movie, they tried to call that one out too. He went full R word. And that right away, like that stuff alone, people were more hot about him doing that role than anything else. So go figure. That's what actually took most of the heat off of Robert Downey Jr. in the first place. So that's just way too damn funny as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so now we've got Luke. He's got his regular pistol format here, like the pistol grip pump in my lap at all times. Bah! You be messing with other people's stuff, but you can't be messing with mine. That's right. I don't say that word. And every time that I sing a song that has that word in it, I just have to work around it somehow and hope that I don't accidentally slip, especially not in public, because that would be horrible. But I'm actually really good at not slipping. I'm saying I'm pretty good at it. It does let you know, though, rap is definitely culturally a black medium. That word being used in it all the time, and Chillmonger and I talked about in our podcast last week, that word being used in it all the time, it does denote that this is undeniably, indelibly a part of black culture, not white culture. Just, it is what it is, man. Anyway, so, okay, this is kind of cool. This has, this doesn't have the double jointed elbows, so it doesn't have the double joint here so that he can actually put his arm all the way closed. In Marvel Legends, this is the way that the women's arms go because they got to make them really thin and they're not big enough to do the double joints, or at least they haven't figured out how to do, the mechanics of doing a double joint for the women yet. So unfortunately, women usually get like this where they'll turn. You can spin them, you know what I'm saying, however you want them to be. But you can't make the arms go, like you can't make the hands go towards the face because, unless you play with it enough because, yeah. Anyway, because it's only the one joint. But anyway, yeah, so there you got that, but they'll still go out pretty far. And yeah, the head will not, it will not go side to side, but it will swivel. It will go up and down a little bit, but again, it won't turn to the side. So you can't get like the cocked angle. Turns at the waist, opens at the side, not too much. It wouldn't do it too much anyway because of the holster. So the right leg really doesn't move too much at all anyway. It does have the double joints on the knee, so he can essentially kick his own ass. You know, you can see, you actually see the double joints in his knee that you don't see in the arm because they want to keep the aesthetics of it. And then of course you got the foot pointing down and the foot pointing up, and it's on a ball also, so you can actually spin it in a really weird way. But that's good for when you want to have, like, you know, one of these side, you know, things. Instead of the foot being out like that over here, you can actually twist the foot so it looks like it's actually down. So yeah, you're typical for the Star Wars Black Series, the 6-inch 1/12 scale. I like it. I'm not disappointed in this figure in the slightest. And of course, he's got his lightsaber, which isn't going to look good in his hand because, and it doesn't come with extra hands. These guys don't usually come with extra hands, which is annoying. One of the hands will go up and down. The right hand will usually go up and down. They'll all swivel, but the right hand will usually go up and down. That's a new thing with the Star Wars figures, so that you can actually like aim a gun, so to speak. But the left hand will usually go forward and backward. Nope, this one's also only going to go up and down. Wow, go figure. Okay, so that's new. They're making all the. They used to be that the left wrist would go this way and that way, and the right wrist would go up and down that way. But oh well, so they're not going to do that anymore. Is what it is. Okay, last thing to open. Hot Link. What the heck is this guy called? Yeah, Hot Link, which I don't care. I don't care what his name is because it looks like Skywarp. So I'm going to use him as Skywarp. They haven't made a freaking Sky. Actually, I think they have made a Skywarp. No, they did Thundercracker. Whatever. I've got a Thundercracker and a Starscream in the Cybertron transformation, and now I've got Skywarp. I don't care that he's called Hot Link. That bothers me not in the slightest. So anyway, and I've got the Earthrise version of Starscream also, which is sexy. So he actually transforms into a fighter jet like he would on Earth. Let me slice these boys open, and then I'll start checking some more comments. Give me a moment. Okay, so good Professor Bill. I am flying toast. I'm a flying toaster. I am flying toaster. Oh my God, that is really freaking weird. But hey, what's going on? Is that like kite flying, but with a toaster? I'm not upset. I'll fly a toaster if it works. John, you can't put good guys versus bad guys, Mark, because the good guys are always going to win. Is it really blackface? Is the character is doing blackface and it's part of the movie story? Well, Mark, you'd have to ask every individual black person how they feel about it, because what do you call it? Just, it is what it is. I remember this one time when Black Panther was getting ready to come to the theaters, and people were talking about this was actually a Facebook group. What's it called? Imaginext. Whatever. It's basically, it's like a group for black nerds. Basically, they want to, you know, like comic books for black nerds and movies for black nerds and just, you know, whatever. You know, it's like a blurred site, except it's not called a blurred site. Anyway, they were talking about, hey, you know what I think we should do? We should make it so that only black people can see the movie. What do you call it, for the first week, so that this way we can go in and enjoy it without anybody, you know, being stupid, which possibly could have worked, because I know that when I went with my wife, she was really, really, I was a little bit pissed off myself, but you know, she was really pissed off, like almost ready to slap this one kid in the back, teenager, who, when they were in the throne room and they saw the one council elder in the Black Panther movie who had the plate in his lip, the guy started laughing at that. And it's like, that's not done in my wife's culture, you know what I'm saying? But it is a part of, you know, one part of African culture where people will do that. And it's like, dude, You know what I'm saying? People do that. And you don't just start making fun of other people's cultures. You don't do that. It's culturally insensitive, and it shows that you're an ignoramus and you're a jackass. So when push comes to shove, you know, maybe that could have worked. So this way my wife and other black people around didn't have to hear that and start clenching their fists like, I want to punch this guy in the damn face. And he probably should have been punched in the damn face. Anyway, he was respectful for the rest of the movie. I think somebody, let him know, hey, stop. Anyway, so boom, they yeah, Alan, I just noticed that they tried to do something like that, women's only, but it was ruled to be discriminatory. Yes, but they were still talking about that in this one group. So I mentioned, I was like, no, please don't do that. Like, I'm a huge Black Panther fan. With all due respect, I know more about Black Panther than any of you guys. So I'm just saying, what if I were to actually dress up like the Black Panther and go and see the movie? Would you guys vouch for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm making a joke. And most of the people in the group, not, I shouldn't say this, most of the people in the thread knew me. You know what I'm saying? They know me, they know of me. Like, I've talked before and I've never said anything racist. So they're like, okay, he's cool. Let him go. Hey, I'm the tall, cool one, right? That's actually a Robert Plant reference for anybody who's not familiar. And if you don't know who Robert Plant is, man, somebody please listen to some Led Zeppelin. Anyway, but this was on his solo career. But it did have Jimmy Page on guitar in the song. So anyway, so can you tell what I was listening to recently? So anyway, so I just mentioned, like, if I dressed up as Black Panther, and what I meant was to cosplay as the Black Panther, put on the Black Panther outfit, put on the mask, you know what I'm saying, and go in there as Black Panther. But there's this one woman who got really salty, and she thought that I was suggesting going in, like, actually putting black makeup on my face. And like, no, that's not what I'm planning on doing. That's not, and I tried to just, brush it off, and everybody else was ignoring her. I guess they're familiar with her. I wasn't. But she, like, 3 times, she kept on getting really hard. Like, this guy's talking about going blackface, and everybody's just having a ha-ha conversation with him. What the hell? How is this okay? How did this guy infiltrate our group in the first place? Maybe I shouldn't put a picture of my actual face on my profile when I go in there. I don't know. Anyway, so she got really hot, and I was just trying to explain to her. I was like, listen, just so you know, I'm not talking about going in as blackface. I'm talking about actually dressing up as Black Panther. She's like, yeah, and Black Panther's black, right? So you're basically talking about doing blackface. She got really pissed off at me. So I literally had to look at, and at one point, what does she say? She starts talking about how white people have purple penises. She's apparently, maybe some white people do have purple penises. I myself don't have a purple penis. So I hope that's not too much information for some people. I'm just saying, like, 'cause she started talking about, like, I don't want to see you and your nasty little, purple penises. Ew, ew, ew. And she's just like trying to egg me on. And it's like, it's not going to work. I'm not going to get offended by anything you're saying. You don't know me. You clearly don't know me if you think that I have a purple penis, for crying out loud. Like, what the hell? Anyway, so I was just at one point, the worst thing I said to her is like, listen, honestly, all the things that you're saying to me aren't affecting me. So by all means, keep on blowing bubbles. I can take it. But you are genuinely speaking from a place of anger right now. And until you can actually calm yourself down and recognize that I don't mean, any malintent by this, I'm going to continue ignoring you just like everybody else is. And I just continued talking with everybody about it. And like, she just became kind of a butt stain on the wall. Like, she became a skid mark in somebody's underwear. Was she wrong to get mad at me about that? No, she wasn't, because obviously she was coming from a place of hurt. Maybe she just got called the N-word. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what her situation was, but she has the right to be offended. I'm not going to turn around and start, like, yo, you B, who do you think you are? You're so stupid. Why am I going to add fuel to her fire? You know what I'm saying? Why would I do that? And I could literally look at it as, you want to throw some insults at me? Be my guests. If that somehow makes you feel better, cool. But my intent was not to go blackface. Not only am I not going blackface, but I wasn't even going to put black makeup on, because my personal thoughts on this is, if you put black makeup on to in order to, like, disguise yourself as a black person, and it's not for, like, just a prank or a joke or something like that, okay, fine, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Blackface is actually putting on just the black around the outskirts or the inner parts of the face. So the outside you can actually still see very white, and then doing like the big paint, the gigantic size painted lips and whatnot, and still leaving the whites around the eyes, around the eyeballs, so that you can actually see, yes, he's still a white person, and then doing the, talking in the voice and doing the dance, whatever they call the dance, and making like watermelon jokes and things like that. That to me, that is, well, yeah, whatever. To me, I look at that as that historically is blackface. If somebody wants to see other things as more than just blackface, okay, that's your experience. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's not a part of my culture. I don't get offended for myself when I see blackface. If I do see somebody, if I were to ever see somebody do blackface, out like on the streets or something like that, I'd be in a heartbeat. Yeah, you can call me an SJW, you can call me whatever you want. I'd be like, are you stupid? No, no, no. Literally, every single letter of the word stupid. Are you literally the living embodiment of stupid? What is the matter with you? You know what I'm saying? Yes, I would be offended for other people for that, but I'm not going to be personally offended for that. I'd be offended for my wife. I'd be offended for my kids. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to be personally offended by that. I can literally look at it as this person is being stupid, as opposed to I want to wring this person's neck. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's this is going to affect directly, somebody who maybe dealt with this stuff. Maybe imagine somebody walking with their elderly grandmother or grandfather who actually saw blackface shows being put up out there and things like that. Imagine how they're going to feel as opposed to the way I feel. The feelings are going to be very different. And I am in no way justified to tell this person how they should or should not feel. That's not my place to tell somebody how they should feel. People can feel any way they want to feel. So what do I feel about, somebody saying, this, that, or the other thing? Hey, you know what I'm saying? For me, as somebody who's not personally offended or not personally affected by this, like not directly, like myself directly offended by this, you know what I'm saying? It's whatever. I'm okay with it, with Robert Downey Jr. doing that. But if somebody else wants to, be offended at Robert Downey Jr. for doing that, they're in their rights. They're 100% in their rights. And if they want to boycott it, if they want to make a movement against it, they're in their rights. Chillmonger's here. Cool. We can get the podcast started right after this, I guess. You could be Black Panther, that being T'Challa. Yes, that's my opinion. Um, Time for a super chat. I love you, Sue-Ann. You know that, though. I don't have to say that out loud. Time for a super chat and lots of applause for all those conversations I missed hanging out with y'all. As long as you're feeling better, it's cool. And super chat or not, you know what? You know what you're gonna get? You're gonna get a hope. This is hope. Okay. Da, 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 da. I know I'm doing the song wrong. I need to go back and watch New Hope again one of these days. You know what? I bet you I can watch it with my kids and they'll be totally okay with it. But anyway, just Luke sitting there on Tatooine, looking up at the three moons, or excuse me, the three suns of Tatooine, and just da, 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 da. Yes, because Sue-Ann. We all love you, Sue-Ann. And anybody who doesn't, GTFO my chat. Okay, so let's get moving on from there. Thought the movie was okay. Nothing really special. Like it had an arc. Should have been called Wakanda since it was more about that than Black Panther. That's cool. What do you call it? I thought that it was great, especially after Civil War. Okay, so of course, make sure you get the instructions in the back of this because that's kind of freaking crucial. And I'm not going to be building this thing today, just so that you guys know. And I will put this over here. Snarf. Okay, so it comes with these two little guys. They're basically target masters. I don't know if you guys remember the target masters back in the day. So basically, they're just going to go like this and then like this, and they turn into a gun. A double-barreled gun, so they can just pew, 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 pew. So they could basically turn into a gun for Skywarp, not Hotlink. I'm going to forget that name eventually because screw that. But basically, that's what that is. And it comes with these two little shooter displays here. It should come with 4. Why wouldn't it come with 4? Since you got 2 of these things, because basically, oh, I see. Because they're not supposed to be twin barrel. They're supposed to be like this more than anything else, which is really weird. Anyway, so you could put them on one, or you can put them on both. Oh, no, it doesn't actually fit on there. Okay, so I get it. So pew pew for each one. Okay, whatever. I don't care. It looks cool. One of the things you can also do with this is you can actually, not on this character, some of the characters, you can actually put them on the character so it looks like they're being shot. And that's always a really cool effect. Hey, Dylan Comics, what's going on, dude? How you doing? Ooh, excuse me. Okay, so nobody in the chat talking, so let me continue with my opening of Hotlink, excuse me, Skywarp. Because I don't even know who Hotlink is. I've never even heard of the freaking character before. I care less. 2 squirts, my peeps. I can give 2 squirts about that. A Hotlink. Well, that was easy. It was just around his arms. Okay, cool. Unlike usual, where it's like around everything. It's like going into the crevices and stuff. God, that's so frustratingly annoying. Okay, take all that stuff out. What is this? Get the frig out. How are you stuck inside of his... Oh my God, you are so frustrating. Hey, gotcha. Okay, you're out. And let me get on this arm. So it's not a bunch of little plasticky, dangly, freaky pieces hanging around staring at me. Okay, one more. There we go. Done. Okay, let me put this down. And there you go. Bang. Skywarp. I don't care what anybody says. Shut up. Keep your opinions to yourself. And he's got his he's got his what is he? I don't remember what his gun is. I forget what he's... Let's see. It's Starscream has some kind of a special kind of a cannon that he uses. Thundercracker is the coolest one because he's got his cluster bombs. He's got regular lasers, photon lasers that he shoots, and he's got which is just solidified light anyway. And he's got the cluster bombs that he could fire at people, but only when he's overhead. And he can also open up his exhaust jets in a way that it makes a really loud. It's not quite a sonic boom, but it's like a sonic boom, and he could do it while he's making a sonic boom to make it even louder. And it actually it confuses the enemy because it's a loud noise. So Thundercracker is easily the coolest one, and in the amount of things he could do. Skywarp, however, he actually teleports. Yeah, you almost never see that in the cartoon, but anyway, he has the ability to teleport. So yeah, when he's in his, I've never seen him do it in his regular robot form, but in his jet form, when he's flying, he can actually warp space, skywarp, and he can actually teleport very short distances. So awesome. It's like, oh, you think you got the drop on me, and then just teleport behind him and start shooting them out of the sky. Yeah, Skywarp is easily one of the freaking coolest ones. Anyway, so what else we got? On the subject of people complaining about race changes, oh geez. Let's face it, people just want characters to look like the comics. People feel okay with Krondon, African albino as Black Panther. Doubt it. Mark, that's a huge, huge, huge difference, because when you look at it and it's like maybe 5%, not even, less than 5% of the characters, especially back, pre 10 years ago. Before 10 years ago, you didn't have that many non-white characters. It's funny. I know that let me just throw this one up really quick. Cryptid, what's up, Cryptid? Keep up the great content, Professor. You know what I'm gonna do? Since I know you love Deadpool second best, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have Skywarp here, and Slade, the original blueprint for Deadpool, is gonna be here. He's gonna be like, choo-choo, teleport. I'm gonna do that for you, bud. So he's thinking about you. Thank you very much for the $10. And yes, may your job. We talk in Discord, so I know what Cryptid does for a living. So may your job continue to be prosperous. Were there only 2 suns for Tatooine? I thought there were 3. Anyway, whatever it is, maybe I'm thinking of Arrakis, which was the original idea for Tatooine. Anyway, so let's say, yeah, before 10 years ago, there wasn't nearly as much representation. And even then, just again, my wife is watching X-Men. We were watching X-Men yesterday. The kids put on X-Men by themselves. And I'm in here and I'm trying to work. I'm trying to do, all my stuff because I got a lot of stuff I got to catch up on. And I'm putting together lesson plans. And all of a sudden, I'm hearing, and I was like, oh. So I come out, I was like, you guys are watching X-Men on your own. I know you guys are like, I'm so happy with them. And my wife is watching too, and she's just looking at this, and she's just like, I'm really mad at this cartoon because like Storm is basically just a white girl with a tan. Like she doesn't she barely talks black. You know what I'm saying? She talks like, she's I control the storm. What black person talks like that? You know what I'm saying? What black person talks like that? Please. It doesn't have to be Ebonics to talk like a black person, but who talks like they're the Queen of England? And everything has to be yelling, and it's all dramatic Shakespearean, poetic, Elder Edda and stuff like that, and the prose Edda. Who talks like that, right? And she's very light skinned, and she's got the blue eyes. Like, that there are plenty of Kenyans who have blue eyes. She's like, I know, but still, like, of all the people they had to pick a blue eyed, like, come on. And it's like, her hair. Black people don't have hair like that. Forget about the color, just how straight and nice and wavy. It's like, come on. You realize how long she'd have to be in front of a freaking straightening iron, in front of a mirror, in order to be, have her hair like that every single day? And then she controls the weather. That hair is going to go kinky again, like that, in the rain. So, like, dude, when you actually put it in front of a black person who's thinking, she's not even trying to think about it. She's just looking and she's just like, Storm is not black. In this cartoon, at the very least, Storm is not black. You know what I'm saying? She's basically a white girl with a tan. So I hear you. Oh, but Storm, and you didn't say this, I know that, Mark, but when somebody's like, well, look at Storm, when you could literally, this is like saying, oh, I have black friends. How many black people have you ever had in your house? If you can say a number, that says a lot about your, how you associate with people. Think about that. And the same thing goes with every other race, every other culture, everything, whatever. If you can say, oh yeah, I've had like a Indian person at my house before, only one. So you don't associate with a lot of Indians, right? So you don't really know a lot about Desis in general then, right? Like it's valid. It's a very valid argument, So when you say something like, oh, I'm going to take the Black Panther or Luke Cage, when you can literally go by each and every one. If a black person were to say, let's take one of these white people and make them black to show a little bit of a representation, I personally am not for it at all. I'm not for it at all because this is a visual media. Comic books are a visual media. You're right, and everybody who said, I think that they should just be the what do you call it? The people, around them and whatnot. I'm sorry, I was reading Chillmonger's headcanon. Well, you know what? Chillmonger, that's going to be your headcanon for the day, unless you've got another one set. Chillmonger and I decided after last week's podcast that we've got to do a segment called Chillmonger's headcanon. So, yeah, that's what that's what we're going to do. And because Chillmonger just has all these things that float around his head that, like, he's looking for no prizes, basically. You know what I'm saying? So, boom, that's got to be our no our see our segment for the day. What do you call it? So, and by the way, guys, if you're not following Chillmonger's channel, that's just one little creative thing that he does. Come on, like, go and check out this dude's channel. How is he not up to 1,000 subscribers yet? Just like Comic Boom, like how is this not a thing? Oh, and Dylan's Comics and everybody who has a comic book channel is in here, man. Like, come on. Let's see what wasn't she worshipped as a yeah, she was worshipped as a goddess. The bottom line is you need great actors. I can watch Idris Elba play a role. James, yeah, I don't see a problem with him playing a James Bond character nowadays. I don't see the problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't see any problem with it whatsoever, but whatever. Yeah, I guess she was Tom. What does that mean, Tom? I guess she was Tom. Okay. Storm is supposed to be worshipped as a goddess, so her speech should be regal. Yeah, but why would it be British regal in Kenya? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would that be the case? That doesn't, like, again, like that's like what a white person would think that somebody would be. And these were white people who created the characters. I mean, it is what it is. Dude, we were just on Discord not too long ago, and Sterling, who just shows up, who just shows up. Everybody remembers Sterling from Silver Space Century, the lawyer in both of the comic book courtrooms that we've had. The guy who defended, who actually went against Cyclops, even though he believes in Cyclops. Anyway, what do you call it? Yeah. We were just talking in Discord, was it yesterday or the day before, about some of this stuff, like what do you call it? Jack Kirby and Stan Lee came up with the idea for Black Panther. Jack Kirby, he originally, and I didn't even know this. He found this. He was originally going to be called the Coal Panther. Coal, like charcoal, the Coal Panther. And the outfit was ridiculous. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? And then Stan Lee, of course, came along, and Stan Lee just simply had better ideas than Jack Kirby. I know some people are going to get upset by this. Sorry, but when you think about everything that Stan Lee contributed to the Black Panther character, like seriously, think about this. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. The concept was that, hey, Stan Lee looking at the news and whatnot and saying, right now with the Cold War happening and everything like that, the United States and the Soviet Union, the USSR, nowadays they're called Russia, but back in the day, these guys, they're going out with each other, this arms race in this Cold War, they're building up their arms and they need a lot of uranium. That's what they're going for. And right now, both countries are trying to buy up the uranium because there's huge uranium deposits in Uganda. So it's like, if only these guys actually knew how to use the uranium for themselves, this wouldn't be an issue for them. They could actually become a superpower, for their own. We could have 3 superpowers instead of just having 2 picks on the ballot, so to speak. Wouldn't that be great if they could actually fend for themselves? And so he came up with the idea of, hey, instead of Uganda, let's call it Wakanda. And hey, instead of uranium, let's call it vibranium. Just a step down in a step away in the alphabet. That's where these ideas came from. So, what do you call it? That's what they had to do, or that's what Stan Lee decided to do. So Jack Kirby was like, yeah, I'm going to make this character. He had like this weird color, and go and check out the Discord. Ah, crap, I got to do the freaking Discord. This is going to make Chillmonger happy. I'm going to put up the thing for the Discord again. Oh, I got a message. Oh, from Alan. Oh, Alan actually just shared the Chris O'Connell. Thank you, Alan. Just now saw it, and yes, it does look exactly like it. Sheesh. Let me, bam, boom, there you go. So there's the Discord link. Go and look in the general chat or the memes. I think it's in the general. You can see the original Coal Panther idea that Jack Kirby had. And that's when Stan Lee was like, let's do the Black Panther instead. And they were thinking about calling like the Black Jaguar or something like that instead, because a month or 3 after the Black Panther was created and actually put out, in the comic books, that's when all of a sudden the California group, and New York and all that stuff, they came up with the idea of the Black Panther movement. So they're like, oh, we don't want to be associated with this because we don't know what's going on with that. Oh my God. So yeah, anyway, because that was making a lot of news. Anyway, so yeah, yeah. So the whole idea was, imagine if you actually had this, this country whose resource they knew how to mine for themselves. Because when you look at colonialism, you look at imperialism, even before that, or nowadays, you look at the idea that it's all about the natural resources of the land. Hey, to this very day, this very second, France takes the sand in Egypt, gathers it up to make their concrete and all the other, natural, the other materials that they need to make out of sand, and they use it for themselves, and they sell it back to the Egyptians and whoever else is willing to buy it. I want you to think about that. Egypt has to buy their own sand from France in order to build buildings. And that's literally one example that is easy to look up and say, oh my God, and then continue looking up exploitative colonialism processes like this. And this is Stan Lee's mind. Stan Lee was an amazing human being. He by today's standards, he'd be called an SJW, the highest. That's one of the reasons why Marvel keeps on putting out the Stan soapboxes. And they could just go in a row, month after month, all the things that he used to say. And he used to do them practically weekly. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, and And Jim Shooter used to put them out also, because he believed in what Stan Lee was saying also. He believed the same things, not just because it was just because it was Stan Lee. So anyway, yeah, when you think about how important the Black Panther character is, if you were to just make it like, here's the one, bit of representation that they had back in the day, to suddenly make him white, that's not the same. That's not the same. This would be like saying, oh, let's take Magneto and make him not Jewish. Not just let's make him black, but specifically let's make him not Jewish. Because if he's not in the Holocaust, that really takes away from a lot of what the character is, isn't it? Now, in the Marvel sliding time scale, you'd be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? There are still Holocaust survivors today, but unless you're going to make Magneto a very, very, very old Jewish man, it's going to be hard to explain how he was in, maybe you could say, oh, he's, as a mutant, he lives a really long time, or he came from, 30 years ago in the timeline and whatever, I'm saying, from a different universe. I don't know how exactly they're going to bring mutants over, but I still think that he should be a Jewish, man, saying an old, potentially Jewish man, who did actually experience the Holocaust firsthand, whose parents were murdered in the Holocaust. I do think, because that's such a huge part of who this character is. But now let's look at somebody like, let's say, Captain America. Okay, Captain America is actually not a hard one, because we could kind of, it's not a particularly hard one, because, hey, he is the son of immigrants. So to me, it is kind of important to keep him white and to also keep him Irish. I guess you could make him Italian. I don't know if I really want the Italian accent for him. I'm saying this as an Italian. I don't really know that I want to make him Jewish. I kind of like the idea of him being Irish, because the Irish took the longest. They were actually exploited. Of the people who were accepted to become white, they went through the hardest process, you know what I'm saying, to be white. Us Italians weren't even allowed into the damn country, forever. But there were 3 or 4 generations of Irish coming over, forced to fight in the Civil War, saying, on both sides. So literally, we've come here from from our homeland to avoid the fighting. We come here only to fight each other again. It's like, dude, hey, what do you got to do? Everybody's got their own plight. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got their own plight, and every single one of them are valid. But the idea that Steve comes over here, and just that fight that he had with Nuke, where he's like, yeah, how are you not on my side? You wear the flag. How are you not on my side, when it comes to freaking all of these, immigrants coming into the country? For Steve to be laying down there pretty much helpless and just say, Nuke, I really don't think you understand. I am first generation immigrant. My parents were immigrants, came to this country. I was born to immigrant parents. And the struggle that we had to face, blah, 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 all this stuff. And it's like, we just came here to build the American dream. And the American dream was built on the back of these immigrants. You know what I'm saying? Whether they were forced over or not, you know what I'm saying? It was built on the back of immigrants. The people who were natives to this country, what did they do except crack the whip? And in many cases, literally, you know what I'm saying? What did they do? So, like, he says this, and right away, it shocks Nuke. He's like, I never thought about this, and that's how he's able to beat him. But anyway, so changing Captain America. But here's the thing: if you were to change Tony Stark's race, does that do anything? It doesn't really do anything to change. If you were to make Tony Stark a Mexican, would that really change anything either for the better or for the worse? Would that actually do anything? If you think about any race, any culture, whatever, that you could change Tony Stark to, does that actually change anything about the character? Nothing except the physical appearance, except for the aesthetics of the character. His character is not based on his race or his culture or his religion or anything about that. You know what I'm saying? It's simply not. So who cares? But for a character like Black Panther, that is a huge deal, because the character himself is based on his race, his culture, his language, his nationality, his kingship, all this stuff. Like, it's based on all of that. So it's a huge difference. Bloodshot kills the Marvel zombie universe. Bloodshot? Bloodshot? Whatever, I'm cool with it, Mike Anderson. Let's do it. I'm there for it. Suan, mutants age slower than humans because they are more evolved. So that we can keep Magneto the way he is. I'm down with it. I'm totally down with it. Cool. Yeah, if that's a power that mutants have, cool. Because like, how long is the movie universe going to last? Hell, y'all know that. Besides the fact that today was supposed to be Free Comic Book Day, 12 years ago on this day, Iron Man released in the theaters, right? Iron Man, the original Iron Man movie with Robert Downey Jr., aired in the theaters 12 years ago today. So, like, what? Was it 12 years ago? 2008. Yeah, that'd be 12, right? 10, 20, yeah, 12 years ago. Hey, pretty sick, right? Pretty sick. So when you think about that, 11 years, 10 to 11 years, maybe 12 years max for all three phases of the Marvel universe or the Marvel Cinematic Universe to come out. That's sexy. That's sexy. And today's the anniversary of Robert. So big, hey, what's up to Robert Downey Jr. for accepting this role, and to Marvel for allowing him to come into the role, and honestly, especially Jon Favreau for putting his own money up, saying, I believe so strongly in Robert Downey Jr. doing this role, I'm willing to put my own money up for the Iron Man movie to be made and just make sure I get my own money back, you know what I'm saying, and the money I'm going to get for actually directing and writing the script and all this other stuff that he did. I'm saying Jon Favreau is the main reason why the Marvel Cinematic Universe exists. Kevin Feige, you're awesome, but let's face it, all right? Let's face it. None of it would have happened without Jon Favreau. Dude deserves all the thanks in the world. Only watched one season of Jessica Jones, but I really liked it. Yeah, I didn't like season 2 so much. Season 3 was pretty cool, but I loved season 1. I could go watch season 1 again right now. In fact, I'm out. Bye, guys. I'm joking. Tom the Fish. To be fair, Dan DiDio got fired because of Batawang. Did he get fired because of Batawang? Maybe. Sabah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If it isn't important to the character's identity, then anyone can play them. You're not wrong. Also, hey Sabah. DC Comics, you're not the only one who needs a haircut. Look at the back. Look at the nape of my neck. Look at that. Yeah, it's terrible. I actually do my own haircuts too, and I just haven't had the time to go and do my freaking. And plus, I think it was like a couple days ago, I went in and I cleaned the bathroom, and then when I was finished, I was like, oh, I should probably, cut my mustache and stuff like that. You know what? I should just do a haircut. Like, I just cleaned the bathroom. I ain't doing no. Next week, I'll do a freaking haircut. So it's my plan that sometime next week, maybe I'll go and I'll do that. But for right now, I ain't messing up my bathroom with my freaking hair after I just got finished cleaning my bathroom. Come on now. So yeah. Dark Knight came out the same year in 2008. Hey, there you go. Well, no, but would making Black Panther an African albino change things? It changed. Whatever, man. It's a little different, but whatever. I would like to see Rhodey be the new Iron Man. Makes sense to me. Yeah, yeah. I'm actually reading on the Iron Man comic books right now, and I'm at the part where Happy Hogan is actually the first person to take over for Iron Man, because they realize that maybe Tony Stark is actually Iron Man. It's in the newspapers and things like that. And Happy Hogan actually goes out and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna, go don the Iron Man armor and start flying around so that people think that, hey, look, Tony Stark is in the hospital, but Iron Man was just seen flying around outside. So maybe they'll say that it's not the case because Happy found out that he was actually Iron Man. So anyway, Happy Hogan is actually the first person to not wear that. There was another person. There were two other people. One of them was a black guy. He was actually an ex-boxer, and I can't remember his name right now because he's not a particularly famous character. Anyway, and then the fourth person, so there's Tony Stark, Happy Hogan, two other people. So then the fifth person, and therefore the second black person to have worn the Iron Man armor, is actually James Rhodes. Think about that. There's so many people who have changed and dude, I've talked to Jim Shooter. I've talked to a lot of these people back in the day, and Shooter wasn't necessarily there for that. But anyway, I've talked to a lot of these people, and I've never heard, and I've talked about, what do you think about, the Comicsgate movement? It's like, dude, we've never, because I've said before, with Twitter? Do you think it's mostly because of Twitter, because of how toxic Twitter is right now? Everybody, the most toxic form of social media right now is Twitter. It's hard to argue that, right? Do you think it's just because of Twitter? And it's like, maybe, but I doubt it. Because even back then, when we'd have, the race changes or whatnot, like Rhodey taking over for Iron Man, what I'm saying, and things like that. If somebody didn't like it, cool, but nobody sat down and wrote a letter about it. And I still kind of look at it as, well, it's a lot easier to send out a tweet as opposed to write out a letter and then just crumple up and say, fine, forget about it. You know what I'm saying? But for these guys to sit there and say something like that's telling. That's very telling that they didn't get nearly as much hate for James Rhodes taking over as Iron Man as today. And I understand there are some differences, but it is what it is. And that's just one of the reasons why I laugh when I see some of these complaints coming in. But then you, of course, you think the thought to its logical conclusion. You start to understand why they're saying these things. But anyway, there have been plenty of race changes before. James Rhodes is not even the first black person to take over the armor. Like, think about that. And when those spotlights and stories comes out, I'll talk about it. I'm not going to get political with it or anything like that. I say that for these live chats, you know what I'm saying? But like, it is what it is. I'm gonna watch all your Iron Man and read your thoughts as soon as I finish my exams. Ah, Sabah, awesome. Yeah, and let me know what you're taking, because I'm always curious in academia. Spider-Man, fake red. I will not allow it to be canceled. um, Question, Professor. Dan Slott will be done with Iron Man after. So, oh, this was actually, I was wondering, like, what's going on? But yeah, this wasn't a question that I saw come up on the Discord. I saw this on the Facebook group. This question actually came up on the Facebook group. So if anybody's on Facebook and you want to look for the group, look for Facebook groups, Comic Book University. Come on in, ask for an invite. You'll get an invite. Just acknowledge that you're an actual human being, not a bot. Yeah, we'll bring you right in. You know what I'm saying? You can talk with us there. I talk on there also. Yeah. So, and you'll be able to talk a lot with Silver Surfer in there, because and he might boot you if you're a jerk because he's a mod. I'm saying. Anyway, so Jim Starlin would be perfect for Superman. It'd be perfect for freaking Lex Luthor. Let's face it, man. But anyway, oh shoot. So now I'm forgetting what the question was. Cryptid says, stop jumping. There we go. Oh, I suggested Jim Zub, because I mean, when push comes to shove, he's usually doing these team books. Tony Stark, I think, more than any solo character, is a team book. Like, you'll have Captain America, he can operate solo. Yeah, it's cool when he's got a team, whatever, blah 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 blah. Black Panther. Christopher Priest shown that Black Panther works better as a team, but Zub is already doing Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? So let it go. He's doing the smaller Black Panther book. But Iron Man. Iron Man has a retinue, a whole crew of people around him. The idea of the one guy who's a millionaire, playboy, philanthropist, genius, super, all these different things that he does and whatnot. Yeah, that's really cute. Plus, he also dons a suit of armor, and goes out and beats up bad guys and crosses international borders and does all sorts of bad things and whatnot. Yeah. That's cute. Tony Stark is not a solo player, and if you write him as a solo player, the book suffers. So, in my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, but in my opinion, Jim Zub, who has thus far refused to give me an interview. He's always had an excuse. He's never said F you. And he talks to me when I see him in person, you know what I'm saying? But never deemed to actually, give an interview so I can promote his stuff. Whatever. His loss, not mine. I think that Jim Zub would be perfect for Iron Man. I think he would be perfect for the book. He's got a bunch of really crazy ideas. He is not afraid to introduce a new character. He will get down and gritty, just like Iron Man should. It's a great foil for Riri Williams to come over, especially if Eve Ewing is going to continue doing anything with Riri in the future, because Zub and Eve Ewing actually work really well with each other. They both speak very highly of each other. I'm saying I think that it's the perfect fit for Jim Zub to come in and take over, and boom, put together, this story. What the heck is good? Did I miss a super chat? I just missed a super chat. No, it's down there. Oh, Swan, you already gave me a super chat. I'm a simple lady. I listen to Professor Bill in Livestream, and I She-Hulk smash that like button. You gave me $5, of which YouTube, by the way, took 33% of that. Just to say, smash the like button. I love you. You are freaking awesome. That being said, stop, please. Also, let's see. What's a good one for Suan? I can't think of anything offhand good for Suan. You know what? I could just do a. Here we go. So, what have you done for the day? I don't know. Sat down, played some Final Fantasy 14, played a little bit of Sims, just chilling out. Well, that's good. That's real good. There you go, Suan. All the love in the world. Thank you. What do we got here? Okay, there's a lot of Godspeed and Pied Piper are back in the next episode. Oh, in the next episode. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I like Pied Piper. Is Pied Piper a good guy in the TV series? Because he should be. And Godspeed can go either way, but I still like him being a good guy. I think that Superman can be written well. Mr. DC. Oh, it's about his character and the obstacles. Hey, just yesterday on Twitter, Tom Taylor showed a picture of Superman, and he was like, "One day." That's all he wrote. One day, and I'm like, "Oh yes," and I hope to be here for that day. I'm definitely happy for that idea. I've muted and blocked so much of my Twitter, it really has turned into a negative space. It's always been a negative space, you know. It's always like that's just what it's always for the most part been. What is this? What am I looking at? Okay. Huh. Okay, there you go. Oh yeah, I'm about to start reading more about Eddie March soon. Excuse me, sorry, I saw Raven say something about Eddie March. So I'm just like, Eddie March, I know the name, I know the name, I know the name. And I look and okay. Issue number 21 of Iron Man, volume 1. That's the first appearance of Eddie March. And yes, I'm about to get to that really freaking soon. Anyway, yes, I do remember Eddie March. And yeah, just all these different characters who have existed in Iron Man's life, for crying out loud. A lot of people don't really like Bethany Cabe back in the Tales of Suspense issues. Boom, that's when she first showed up. And they didn't do enough with her back then. They need to do actually no, it wasn't back then. No, actually it was in the early issues of actually it was in the greater right before the Demon in a Bottle storyline when Bethany Cabe first showed up. Duh. Bang. Yeah, that's what I'm remembering. Anyway, so yeah, oh, there's so much. There's so much. Yes, Superman can be written well. You have to look past his powers though. Superman, like I said so many times before, Superman is one of those characters who you have to look past what he can do and recognize that whatever threat comes his way, that's not the real story. The story is what's going on in his life. The story is him learning to adjust to regular human being life. Those are the wonderful stories. The stories of, he comes from Kansas. Kansas is, like it's middle America. It's the American, it's not so much the American dream. It's more like the American fantasy, saying, but it's middle America. It's where everything's, essentially calm, nobody really, the ideal of Kansas, nobody argues because there's nothing to argue about. You only really talk about the weather with each other. Politics are what they are. As long as you're talking about the fiscal politics, nobody cares. That's why they could be conservative and not be racist, because they're more interested in the fiscal aspect of the politics as opposed to anything else. Like that's what Kansas is always supposed to have represented, including when Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster made the Superman character and said, let's put him there. Since we're not going to do him in Canada, let's do him here instead. Instead of in Ohio, saying let's instead do it over there instead. Let's do it in Kansas. And, the idea of simple, good American wholesome values, calling your mom and dad sir and ma'am, or ma and pa, as opposed to yeah, mom, whatever, mom, not talking back to your parents, and things like that, and actually keeping a good, wholesome, literally a wholesome life. You work hard. What's the saying that Rowdy Roddy Piper said in They Live? I believe in a hard day's work for a fair day's pay. You know what I'm saying? He says something to that effect. That is the middle American aspect of America. You put in a hard day's work, you get a fair day's pay. And fair meaning if you put in a light day's work, you get a fair day pay as well. You know what I'm saying? You get whatever you put into it, that's what you get. So if you want a good solid paycheck or you want a good, bit of money coming to you, you put in a hard day's work and then you get rewarded for it. And then you could survive on it. You could put your kids through college on it. You know what I'm saying? You could buy a house eventually on it. Not what we're dealing with today, where the financial system is in ruins and the idea of getting a house. Who here actually believes that they're going to actually be able to buy a house one day? You know what I'm saying? As opposed to inherit their parents' house, their boomer parents' house, right? I mean, like that's the world we live in today. And that's in Canada as well. But I mean, when push comes to shove, boom. You know what I'm saying? That's what Superman is. That's what Superman represents. And if we could have that sort of an idea, even if it's you're going to have Superman in politics, fine. Have Superman talking about how I just want to get back to those days. What are these politicians doing? And bang, 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 bang. So you send out some kind of monster droid, you got out some action, cool. You're never really curious that Superman might actually be hurt, and such and such and such. He blasts through these things, or he does get a little bit hurt, and oh no, he's got to fly back, but he's gonna win. Whatever happens, that he's gonna win at the end of the day. That's not a Superman story. That's not what the Superman story encompasses. Superman encompasses the American dream, the wholesome Kansas, middle American dream that you can work hard and you can succeed in life. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to struggling to scrape by. You know what I'm saying? That is Superman. And I think that anybody who does a Superman comic like that is guaranteed massive amounts of success. Let's see. Let's go back down a little bit more. How long have I been going? Oh my God, an hour and 46 minutes. I am wrapping this up. Okay. So, I would love War Machine series for Disney Plus. Ooh, yes. Much fun. Much fun. What does Spider-Man use when he wants to be stealthy? The dark web. We're back to those. Eddie March. Oh yes, thank you, Eddie March. Duh. Eddie March. Raven, you're freaking awesome. Yes, Eddie March was the boxer, the first black guy to actually wear, and I believe the third person to actually wear the Iron Man armor. So yes, bang, there you go, Eddie March. Thank you, Raven. Yes, he was the boxer. Like I knew this, and I'm just like I couldn't remember his name, and that's how much I couldn't remember his name. Anyway, bang. Okay, Mark. In the TV series, Pied Piper was bad. They time traveled and made him good. That's one of the things that always turns me off about Flash is the constant time travel. I know it's integral to a story, but when they just lean on it too heavily, like I'm done. I'm out. Let's see. Silva, I'd love to see a Superman year 1 or year 0 type story where he comes across ancient native power animal entity. I'm down with it. I've had thoughts about joining Twitter to comment on Jason Aaron's page, but no. I don't want that negative. I don't want to feed negativity that's already on Twitter. Oh yeah, because I know how you feel about Robbie Reyes. I think that's like your third favorite character. Wonder why Sony has the rights to Spider-Woman. She has nothing to do with Spider-Man. Yeah, but it's in the name, so it was made to be a part of that. Unfortunately, it is what it is. They got a great deal. They could have had a better deal. They have a great deal. One day I will own a gingerbread house. I'm not a huge fan of gingerbread, but I love the idea of building the gingerbread house. It's just I don't know what I would do with it afterwards. How? I see you, Silver Surfer. Elbow Cough, War Machine Show. Best Superman story in recent years. So funny about is what's so funny about truth, justice, and the American way. Animal Man is OP. He really is. They did a vote for Superman. Is still the most popular superhero in America. Yeah, he's the most recognizable. All that good stuff. Let's make the War Machine series happen, people. I'm down with it. Deathstroke versus Baron Zemo. Come on, man. That's an easy one. That's Deathstroke in a heartbeat. Anyway, all right, guys. So I am going to wrap this up. Chillmonger and I are going to try and get together and do that. Actually, I got to go and eat because I'm freaking starving. Wife took care of dinner today. Even though I set it up, she took care of dinner. And since she's doing everything, like remodeling everything, she kind of got to dinner a little bit late. So the kids got to eat. The dad did not get to eat, so I'm really hungry right now. Oh, you'll okay, cool. I'll come over and get you in Discord when we're ready to go, Chillmonger. And anybody else who wants to go to the Discord and hang out, be cool, be cool. Bang, there you go. I'll see you in Discord for at least a minute, maybe a little bit longer, but I'll have to go and collect Chillmonger before we go, so we can do the podcast, and that will air live wherever you get your podcasts. Or you can just go to Buzzsprout and find it, there, whatever. But anywhere you get your podcast from, we are there. And that should be available at around 5 o'clock in the morning. Probably not midnight. Yeah, probably about 5 o'clock in the morning or a little bit earlier, hopefully. And then if you'd rather wait, you can see the actual video version of it on Tuesday at midnight, Tuesday morning, midnight. So that's as soon as Monday becomes Tuesday, that's when it should air. But hey, if you want to be cool, you can always watch both. I'm saying build up my numbers. That'd be cool. That'd be a little bit cool. And yeah, and I'll talk to you guys later. Professor Bill, Comic Book University, class dismissed.